Hello my gorgeous makeup loving friends, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi, my name is Teresa. Today I'm having a little collaboration with my gorgeous friend and subscriber and Patreon. There's a whole lot of things in there. The lovely, fabulous Eve. So we both, I found out I was getting this palette from a friend who wishes to remain anonymous, so thank you. But when I found out that Eve was having it and he found out that I was getting this, we were like, let's collab. So we're both using this exact same palette to come up with a look. So it's following the same sort of pattern that I would in my usual reviews, in that I do some swatches, I do a tutorial, and then I have my review. But I talk a little bit about Eve and her channel and just her as a person. So, you know, it's all about a makeup community and the joys of that. So if you are interested in that and seeing how this baby performs, then hurrah, this is the video for you. Do please keep on watching. So obviously I'm going to swatch the X Envy palette. Now the story is there's no names on any of these shades, so I'm just going to be swatching and chatting and hoping that I have enough face space for this. So as I said at the beginning of this video, this is a collaboration with the lovely Eve from Makeup and Eve. So that's like her Instagram name, and I believe her YouTube channel is Makeup and Eve as well. Not 100% certain, because I just, whenever her stuff comes up, I just watch it. Like I'm like, oh look, it's Eve. So Eve has a very similar makeup aesthetic to mine in that she also loves green, and that's part of why I've gravitated towards her. She's also Scottish, which, by the way, like listening to her videos, I'm like instantly soothed. Like I'm just like, yeah, I'm here for it. Let's give that green another swatch, because that was not great, was it? Okay, not the absolute worst. We'll give this one another little swatch. Anyways, she's currently a student. I'm not going to say exactly what it is that she's doing, because I know she was saying in a recent video that she was going to talk about that or do a dedicated video on that, and I'm really excited about that because I want to learn more about what she's doing, because she's had like some tricky placements, like some stuff that's really hard, and I just think she's kind of badass, because she's studying and she's done so well in her exams, like bonker balls amazing. And to do that when you have a small kid, by the way, like I think anyone who goes to education and is on placement and is doing all of these things, I think they're kind of incredible, because I know how difficult it is. But she's done all of that with like a little kid, Lewis, and I'm like, girl, you are inspiring. And I've been watching her channel now for a while, and like she's always been really good, don't get me wrong, but I've seen her growth over the last while, and my god, like she's like, she was always good, don't get me wrong, but she is just bringing it home these days. Like her looks are getting more and more complex. She did an amazing look with the Lowe's Cosmetics palette, and I was like, damn you, this is so beautiful. So she's just so good. And she does like lots of hauls and stuff. Like she did a Cherry Z haul, and I love how she was like, oh no, I managed to delete some of the footage. And I was like, that sounds like something I would do. And she's like, and also I've eaten a chunk of the snacks. And I was like, again, that feels like something I would do. Okay, I thought this was going to be more green, but there's like a bluish tint to it, but let's see. So obviously we decided that we would collab on this together. I'm going to dab this on, because that's glitter, and we dab it on. I know that from David, because he's very wise, and he told me I have to dab these things on, because I do not know. But yeah, I've been watching her channel now for a while, and she's just kind of crazy awesome, and she's so into animals. Like again, that's a big reason as to why I like her. She has like praying mantises, she's got fishes. Is that the correct? Do we say fishes or fish? Anyways, she has all of that, and she just has a really big heart. She's just a lovely, lovely person. I have such a soft spot for her, and I'm hoping that when I'm over in Edinburgh, well, not hoping, I'm insisting that we hang out, because if we don't, I'm going to throw an absolute fit, is all I will say. yeah, check out her channel. Obviously, she's excellent. There we go. Yeah. And she does all sorts of things, like lots of Revolution hauls. Now, I wasn't originally going to get this palette. This was actually bought for me by a friend who wishes to remain anonymous. Thank you, my love. And when I found out that Eve was also doing this, I was like, we need to do a collab. Now, it's taken a bit longer because Revolution have been so rubbish with sending me stuff. So bless her, she's been waiting for me. This is the whole thing. Now, I thought this was going to be a very green palette, which I had kind of hoped when I saw the initial teasers of this. And myself and Eve were like, because again, one of the things that I adore about Eve is she loves green eyeshadow as much as me. And I appreciate that in another human being. But I'm glad I have this because it just means that I can do a video with Eve, and she's a spectacular human being. I do, I care about her very much. She's wonderful, and I don't think she understands how much of a bad ASS she actually is. Like, she is truly inspirational. I'm going to chat about her probably a bit more in the tutorial. But for now, these is the swatches. These are the swatches. I English goodly. Yeah, so tutorial is next. I've done it again and I've glued more things to myself, so clearly everything's going well. I've also been watching Elena and Chrissy in their live, so I'm keeping that just there and kind of half watching as I go along. So feel honoured that I sat down to continue this because I do love watching them. Anyways, I'm going to be holding up the palette every so often because there's no names on these. So it is what it is. The lid has been primed. I've glued a lot of things to myself. I'm not sure how well they're going to stay on. Fingers crossed. Anyways, I'm using this Beauty Bay brush. It says I Spy. And I went into this pastel shade first. So I'm just kind of putting that on the outside of the eye. And again, hoping that the stuff I've glued on doesn't go away. You can see there's actually pretty good pigmentation on this. I wanted to make this kind of as colourful as I could. Like, I was like, I kind of wanted to do a green look in homage to my girl Eve, because obviously this is our collaboration. But I saw some other colours in there, and you know what? It reminds me a little bit of the Meet Me in the Underworld, but not as well edited. You know, like obviously when there's like a lot more colours, and I will say there's two shades that are definite dupes for each other, in my opinion, but I'll tell you about that in a little bit. But oh, I cannot wait to see what Eve has done. Now, I know she's already, I think, filmed hers, and we're putting it up on the same day. Oh, she's so talented, and she just always looks amazing. It's very annoying. I need less beautiful friends. It's hurtful. I'm just using this Dew Color 02, and I'm going into this shade here. So I'm just kind of working that out. But yeah, she's just annoyingly talented. I will say she's the most, I know this is going to sound so weird, but she's the most beautiful lips. Does that sound weird? Yeah, there you go. Anyways, it is what it is. Yeah, I've been watching her channel now for, God, would it be about 5 or 6 months? Something like that. She's so good, and I love her general thing, and I relate to her an awful lot, because she's also one of my Patreons, and like we would chat a lot like within the WhatsApp group, and she's a very kind and caring person, like, and she's always up to have discussions on all sorts of topics, and you know, she's one of those people that's so happy to be educated on things. You know, she'll never come in and be like, oh, I've formed my conclusion about something. No, she actually is looking to learn stuff and learn about different opinions. And like, for me, I just look at that and I'm like, how awesome is that to have people who actually are committed to finding out about others. So I think she's again, it's very obvious, but I'm like, I think she's rather excellent. I'm using this Jessup JE05 now, and I'm going into this shade here, which is kind of a deep green. I would have liked a little bit more greens in the palette, but overall I think it's actually not bad at all. So I'm just going to pack that in there. I think I was a little bit inspired as well by Eve's Lois Cosmetics Meet Me in the Underworld look. Like, this obviously isn't like a recreation of that, but I'm kind of taking a bit of the spirit of that because it was kind of quite sultry, and this is my attempt at sultry but also a little bit whimsical, so it's like our two aesthetics I think kind of meeting, or at least I'm hoping it is. Who knows? And then obviously had to put some liner on, but yeah, I just can't wait to see what she's done. I'm so nosy. She's been really good though. She's kept it like quiet as to what she's done. And I have another collab, by the way, coming this week with my lovely friend Manuela, who is known on YouTube as Chloe Demure. So it is a week of collabs, and I love it. Because again, it comes back to that whole thing of me saying, well, I wanted a community, and I've definitely got a community of some really excellent people, like genuinely fabulous, fabulous people. Don't be jealous of my excellent friends. I'll let you have them, maybe. I won't, they're mine. I'm just taking this Madison M9 now. And what I'm doing is going into that dark green mossy shade. Checking to see what Chrissy and Elena are doing. Very excited. And I'm just going to stamp that there for the moment. But then I will be like kind of blending it out a little bit further. I do wish there was more depth in this. But yeah, I've said before that I'll be going to Edinburgh. I know a few of you guys that are watching are in the UK, you're in Scotland. Chris, Kirsten, Kaylee, Eve, obviously, Missa. I know Rebecca's coming up. Mary was talking about coming up. Lucy might come up. I don't know. So for those of you who might be interested, do like let me know, because I'd love to hang out. Like, we could all go for like, I don't know, like a big picnic or something in like Prince's Garden or something. I don't know. Like, I haven't really thought it through, but I want to hang out with you guys and just chill out, essentially, is my thought. I am now taking this Melt Cosmetics brush. I think it's called Transition. I use it a lot. And again, just taking that same shade again and just swishy swishy. Just following essentially the natural shape of my eye because I'm lazy and can't be bothered to do much. Woohoo! Always a good sign. And again, just popping it over here. Have that work a little bit more. I'm taking the Madison M9 again and just shove a bit more of that green in there. Super professional. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use the Sheen Cosmetics liner in Mellow, which is life, by the way. Cut out the crease and then we'll come back and we'll put this in. We're not going to glue things together because you don't need to see me dropping things repeatedly. Nobody has time for that. The liner's on, it's happening. I'm using the Jessup 237 and I'm going to go into this shade here. This is very similar to this shade, so you can see the two, but I'm using this one. I'll show you what I mean when I say that they're similar. One just has a bit more pigment than the other, but they're quite similar. If you built one up, I think you could get it to be quite similar. But that's just me being probably a bit fussy. I mean, it is a big palette, so I can't like whinge too much, and actually the quality does seem to be pretty good. I will say the difference between one is that one has a bit of like kind of, it's like a matte glitter, and this is the one that I'm using, the one that has a bit of the glitter in it. But I also put another shade on top of it just in case you're like, but that's not how it looks on the other side. Don't worry, we're getting there and we're going to go there together. This reminds me a little bit of the look that I did with the Lois Cosmetics Meet Me in the Underworld palette. I think just because I used like there's like a kind of berry tone like that in the Meet Me in the Underworld palette, and there's greens. That's just the way that my mind is kind of thinking. A little bit under there as well. Yeah. And then I'm just using this little brush here, and I'm going into this sort of gold shade here, and I'm just going to pop that on top. I've been enjoying doing that, like taking sort of metallic-y shades and popping that on top of a matte. I think it makes it a bit more interesting. That's just me. It's just how I like to do things. Sure, what do I know? F all. F all. There we go. That'll do. Hashtag close enough. And then I am taking this brush here, which is a Jessup JE02, and I'm going into this kind of purple shade here. Again, it's quite an unusual palette. Like, there's a lot of different strange kind of colours in it that I wouldn't necessarily put together, but it is what it is. It's not the best purple, I will say that. I've definitely come across better. But I've also come across worse, so I'm not going to get wildly annoyed at it. I will say though, it took them forever to get here. It took about a week or so to arrive, which I was like, what is this about? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's not awful. And then I'm just using this little sort of AliExpress brush, and I'm going into the shimmer just below that one, so it's that kind of purpley shimmer, and I'm putting that on top because, you know, why not? In the interim, I was watching like a little bit more of Christina Elena's live. You should check them both out, they're fabulous. And obviously, for the love of God, check out Eve's channel. If you don't, I will come and I will haunt you. That would mean I was dead. I'm not actually dead, or am I? Who knows? I have the complexion of a dead person. I'm using my Jessup JE07. I thought it would be interesting to go into this kind of cobalt blue, because I was like, what is that doing in there? So obviously I must use it. So I'm just popping that there. In the most haphazard way possible. Again, doesn't have the absolute best pigmentation, I will say that. But whatevs, we'll get there. The palette, I think, does need like more depth. Now, what I did then was I took this little AliExpress shadow, but I was very strange, and I used 3 different shades. So I used this shade, and this shade. And I just kind of shoved them all together on the one brush. I don't know what I'm doing. And I just popped that on top, just to give an extra sort of a shimmer, because, you know, why not? There we go. And essentially then I just took this melt brush, and I took more of that dark green that I used on the outside again, and just swish back and forth to blend, because obviously I have to blend all of the rest of it. I just want to bring it down underneath here a little bit. I'm using the Morphe M562, and I'm going between that blue and the purple matte, and I'm going to take it like this, just swishy. I don't really have to kind of, what's the word, blend the purple and the berry, because they kind of melt into each other pretty easily. What I will say is the blue fades away pretty quickly, which I don't think is fabulous. Definitely doesn't have the best pigment. I think the blue in the XXRevolution is better than this blue, which again, I think it was a weird one to kind of include, but hey ho, there you go. And that's it. So I'm going to F off now, put on lashes, all that sort. You look, the general jazz, the gems, the things that are unnecessary, and we'll come back and I'll zoom you in and we'll have a good laugh as to what I attempted to do. Yes, so attractive. I am genuinely impressed that these butterflies have stayed on. Might this be the most positive thing that has happened today? Maybe, but I am filming New Makeup Nonsense Bingo with Anna in about 20 minutes. So she's gonna see me looking like this. Hiya! Anyways, let's zoom you in now so you can see what it is that I did. Okay, I mean, it is a simple look at the end of the day. It's just a cut crease with a bit of graphic liner. Mellow saves everything. I'll take the glasses off. And I've obviously glued things to my face because that's what functioning adults do now, apparently. It's a 2021 consensus. I like this. I think it came out well. But I'm going to talk about the palette now. Okay, so what do I think of this palette? The colours are a little bit disjointed. Like, I don't understand why there's like blues and reds and stuff in there. There's a few that are kind of duping themselves. I wish there was more depth. Like, I wish there were much darker shades in there. They do have a lot of light shades, which I think is spot on, really, really good. Overall, I think this is actually a pretty decent palette. I don't think they pushed the boat out far enough in terms of like a blue-green color story. I was so excited to see that. However, if we just focus on the palette itself in terms of its quality, its blendability, how it works, I think the blue was a little bit but it blended out pretty okay. You needed to build it up. I think the XXRevolution was much better in that sense. The rest of the shades, I think, performed pretty nicely. There are some dupes, like I said. There isn't enough depth, so as a result, really, I would give this about an 8.5 out of 10. I actually think this is pretty good. Like, I'm not unhappy with it. It's nice to see XXRevolution doing something a little bit more interesting. I do feel they kind of missed the mark a little bit in terms of the colour story. However, do not take my word for it. Okay, don't just go on one review. You know the general drill. They'll only tell you their perspective. Like, I've only told you my perspective. So head over to Eve's channel. It's linked down below in the description box. Go check her out. See what she says about the palette, what her thoughts are. It'll be really interesting. I'm heading straight over there. I'll see you in the comments. Say hi. But that's it. Do please like, comment and subscribe. Do turn on that notification bell if you want to see more videos of whatever it is that I'm doing over here. Do please share, because sharing is caring. Unless, of course, it's an STD, in which case, you know, wrap it up. Don't be gross. But that's it. That's the end of the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.